Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Process Podcast with your host, Samuel Foutch. I want to hit a couple questions today. The first one being what the brand really is all about. Question 2 is I want to explain what value this podcast holds for the listeners that tune in. And then question 3 is I want to explain what my personal process is as an upcoming entrepreneur. Thank you. And we're back. So with answering my first question, which is what the brand really is all about. So what I'm looking for in this brand as a whole is I really want to get guests on that are not only successful as entrepreneurs, but that are successful in a more of a spiritual success, as well as a financial success, and also a career success. And when I say career, that can be all the way from a corporate job to your musicians, artists, to your athletes. So that's really what I want to hit with what the brand is really all about. For question 2, explaining what the value is for this podcast to the listeners is really just the information you're going to take from the guest as well as myself, and it's going to be you're going to be able to hear what problems the guests go through. So really you get to hear their mistakes as well as their ups and downs to them actually achieving success. And then lastly, you get to hear all their habits as well as routines to what they do day to day to be as successful as they are in their career, in their path. So that's question 2. The last question is what my personal process is as an upcoming entrepreneur. So to try not to take all day, because I got a lot, but it really started for me in the 5th grade. I actually started a card shop, and how that came about was my mom. She took me to a card shop over in Greenwood, Indiana, and I was fully mesmerized by how when I asked the card shop owner, I'd say, give me some type of card, some type of year, and he was able to find that card in about 5 seconds, and that just totally got me all pumped up. So from there, I truly got obsessed with cards in general, and my mom, she purchased the cards for me, and I started building up a collection. So with this business from the get-go, it's been my most favorite one, just because all the inventory was paid for through my mom. So thank you for that. But really, how it went is every day in the 5th grade, I'd come home and I'd organize my cards into the different variances of, the teams, the years, what kind of card selection it was. So it'd be football, baseball, basketball, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. But then as well as that is I would price check all my cards compared to eBay, to all those platforms that could give me a valid price. And then, I went to my father, who, if you guys didn't know, he's an entrepreneur as well. He owns a business called Auto Appeal. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, Dad, can I use one of your showcases to put my card shop?" And from there, I was in business for my first business at a really young age. And it was a truly great experience. And that's what really, set the tone of all that was super fun, from pricing the cards to actually making money from people who bought my cards. I mean, the ability to just barter for me was an incredible experience. But it didn't stop from there. I was probably 6th or 7th grade. I would go around with my little wagon, and I would go door to door and ask people for their cans, their recyclable cans that they didn't want. And I'd say this business was kind of a fail. It was a lot of time spent, not much money made, but it was still a great experience. So what I would do is I just go around my neighborhood and then one more neighborhood, and I just collect cans. Probably did it for a few months, and I figured out the recycling business wasn't my top thing. But then from there, I had a mowing business with my buddy Joe Ori. You grow it, we mow it. That was great experience. We passed out flyers to all the neighborhoods again. I think we got maybe 2 yards, but we were still doing all the small little marketing, all the extra stuff. Shoveled driveways with Joe again. And then I moved up. The 8th grade is when I figured out about the stock market, and I had this brilliant idea as always. And I'm like, my grandpa explained to me what dividends are, and he's, if anyone who doesn't know what dividends are, if you hold a stock for a period of time, you get paid back for just holding the stock. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put money in, just hold my stocks and just make my money back on these dividends. Well, it's kind of harder when you go in with only $500 because you can't really invest a heavy amount to really get the dividend back you wanted. So I lost money there, but I mean, again, it's just, failing at a young age has just been such a pivotal thing for me, because now at 20, it's like, for me to invest money or make investments, I'm not really worried because I've already made the mistakes at a young age. So, but moving from the 8th grade to my, really, it's crazy that the entrepreneurial bug kind of left me. I started swerving towards going to college. I actually did go to college for 2 years at Ivy Tech. I was really going for to be a financial advisor. And entrepreneurship really, stabbed me again. And it's like I came up with a prototype for an invention, and I didn't know the whole Midas touch of entrepreneurship. And if you guys don't know what Midas touch is, it's from a Robert Kiyosaki book. It's just really all the pillars of a true business, which is, not just coming up with the idea or the prototype. It's literally the accounting, the distribution, the packaging, the marketing. There's so much to a business. So that one thing I really want to veer off from that is just, if you have a great idea, and if you think you have an awesome business idea, it doesn't matter what business idea you have. It matters truly, because I really believe that you can have any idea in business, but the only way it's going to be successful is if you have had the experience and if you know how to operate all the pillars of an actual business. Because everyone can have a great idea, but you have to know how to do all the little things and put people in place who do. But really where I'm at now is I actually I'm not attending college. I decided to go the route of working for my father at Auto Appeal. And for me, it's incredible because my ability to I run the phones as well as schedule people's appointments, and my ability to take phone calls and to be able to talk to customers and to really it's really increased my listening skills. But then I get to truly, watch my dad, because he runs a business. So like I was mentioning with the Midas touch, is he does all the pillars of a business. So I get to watch how he does the accounting, how he markets his business, how he treats customers. It's all around great. But for myself on the side, it's just what Gary Vee says. I'm working the daytime job, and then when I get off work, it's where I dabble into my own avenues of entrepreneurship, and that goes as far as obviously podcasts, but I'm looking into Forex, e-commerce, learning Facebook ads, just really getting my skills up to where I can build an incredible business at a young age and learn the mistakes early and just be heavily risk orientated. That's the one thing for any entrepreneur at a young age is remember. For me, for example, is I'm 20 years old. I have no wife and children. I have no house payment. I have no car payment. So for me, being heavily risk orientated is the best when you're super young. So that's really all I got. Thank you for this. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in, listening. Have a great day.